Nerd Bourbon Film and TV Addiction Hotline. Is everything okay?
Hi, thank you so much for answering. It's been such a long time since I've rewatched one of my favorite movies or TV shows, but today I relapsed. Hello and welcome to Nerd Bourbon Relapse, the podcast series where we talk about the series that we love. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill.
We're joined once again by my beautiful and loving wife, Anastasia Sturgill.
Hiya.
It's good to have you back finally.
Yeah.
It's been about only 5 months.
Is it 5 months? It was July that we last posted our last episode of Relapse.
Yeah.
We're here with our ghetto recording setup. This isn't gonna sound as good as Nerd Bourbon normally does, but you know what? You're just gonna have to live with it. You like being this close, up close and personal?
I hate it. But I love you.
And I love Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Now, we just got done, mere moments ago, we just got done watching Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. How do we feel about this? Todd, let's get your opinion first. I felt like I recently re-listened to the first episode with Anastasia, and I felt like it was a very Anastasia-dominated episode.
I feel like that's what it kind of just turned into, because we were just, honestly, I was more interested in her take in general, because she's never seen them.
I am too, and I think for the purpose of the content, I think her take is more interesting, but I do want to give you a chance to just talk about what it was like. I mean, how long has it been since you've revisited this movie?
Apparently not that long, because when we went to go fucking start it up, it's like continue playback. I was like, it's probably been at least like a year and a half, maybe.
Wow, that long?
No, I'm a year. I'll say a year.
I don't remember the last time I watched it, but yeah, probably. You know what I think it was? I think I rewatched all these before The Last Jedi came out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So right about a year, probably. That's, for me.
Honestly, probably what I did. Now that I'm thinking about it, but.
And if for those who maybe didn't tune into the last episode of Relapse, my wife has she has seen these movies before, but she does not remember a thing about them. And when she last watched them, you weren't really a big fan.
Mm-mm.
When you last watched them, years and years ago.
Oh yeah. I watched them essentially just because my uncles were into it, and I was just trying to be part of the crowd and be, I don't know. I was just trying to fit in, man.
That's kind of why you're watching them now.
I'm watching them because you love it so much, and then when I try to give you gifts that you would I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
So you want to try to understand it.
Yeah, I want to understand it at least a little bit, so I know, so I can be a better wife and get you better gifts.
You know all the names of the bounty hunters?
Yeah, because of you.
Shit, I don't even know that.
See? You're one up in Todd there.
Well, the only reason I do is because we did themes for Christmas for each other, and he obviously picked Star Wars. And I was going to narrow it down because it's such a broad thing, and I was going to narrow it down to just bounty hunters. And so I did a lot of research on bounty hunters. A lot of research. And so, yeah.
She got me this cool print that has a sort of a Dirty Dozen kind of lineup of a lot of the Star Wars bounty hunters. And
oh, damn.
It's cool because it spans not only the ones that we see in this movie, The Empire Strikes Back, 4OM and Zuckuss and Dengar and IG-88 and everybody. Bosk, Boba Fett. But it's also got Jango Fett on the far left, and on the far right it has Cad Bane from the Clone Wars series.
Yeah. It also has Greedo.
Yeah, Greedo's in there too. So it's cool because it's not just the core set of bounty hunters.
Yeah.
You're gonna need to send me a picture of that.
I will. It's framed and hanging above my Star Wars display case as we speak.
Shrine.
But The Empire Strikes Back. We just got done watching this. It's been a minute since we've both revisited the movie, and I don't know what sort of things stood out to you Todd as a relapsing fan?
I honestly, I was looking forward to seeing the very memorable fight between Vader and Luke. I love that shit.
At the end, yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that shit. I was waiting for it the entire movie. I was like, I need that shit.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
I love the Mandela effect of the line that is given.
Oh, where the Mandela effect dictates that it's like, Luke, I am your
Yeah.
father,
Yeah.
but it's
No, I am your father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. For me, the thing that and I kind of, when I revisit movies in general, but especially these movies, different things stand out to me. And with this one, I was kind of like, I guess it struck me more how spiritual it all is. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been thinking a lot lately about the nature of the Force and these sort of like, because I've been thinking about Episode 9, and I've been thinking about like, who's going to show up as like a Force ghost in Episode 9 and how would all that work. And I like when Yoda is trying to explain the Force to Luke, and he says, luminous beings are we, not this fleshy exterior, Mm-hmm. And he just sort of describes what the Force is, and that kind of struck me in a powerful way with this viewing. What did you take away? What sort of things stood out to you watching this for basically the first time?
Well, I am a child of the internet, and I couldn't not see seagulls when they met Yoda, and we're like in his hut and stuff. Is it it would be? It's a house.
It's a hut.
Yeah, it's like a hut. And I just kept seeing like, so I had to like, not fun, and but that was. It was more real. Like, it's kind of sad that it's like been mocked in that way, because it was like, it was very
it's
like
actually a serious
conversation. Yeah. So that was nice to see. And like I don't like I said, like Yoda's been a joke to me for a while. Like a lot of people he's like memed, and he's like, oh, you like the voice is mocked and stuff like that. So I've never and we watched a newer. I don't know which one it was, but Yoda came in like a vision or something in one of the newer Star Wars.
In The Last Jedi.
Yeah, and like you it brought a tear to your eye, and you're like, oh, Yoda.
Still does.
And
that scene still makes me cry.
And I was just like, he's fucking
scene.
crying over this little gremlin guy. So I don't know, I was taking it all in.
Now you can kind of see why a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. He has a lot of character. He's a good guy.
He's a good egg, that Yoda. Did you because I remember when we watched A New Hope, you weren't really into the space battles stuff. Mm-hmm. You seemed more engaged with that in this one. There's not a whole lot.
It's not all space battle.
But the movie does open with a giant battle, the Battle of Hoth. Mm-hmm. And you seem more engaged with that. Do you think that that's just because it happens right up front and then you don't get that much of it anymore?
I think my mind was just more open to it this time. Like, I think I'm actually trying to take it in, and I'm trying to actually learn this stuff. Especially since shopping for you was so hard this year. And I'm like, that's not going to happen again. So I guess I was just, my mind was open to it this time, and I wasn't just like, ugh, stupid Star Wars stuff. I'm just going to be one of those losers that not losers, but I don't know. I was always trying to be the cool kid who
who takes archery.
When he's a rinky dink.
You're a shrinky dink.
Shrinky dink.
Yeah.
But Star Wars was one of those things where I was more proud to not see it, because everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe you haven't seen Star Wars. And so that was kind of my thing. I was just like, yeah, I'm interesting. But now I'm not 15. So
you're interesting because you haven't seen Star Wars.
I
just wonder, do you think that you would, because now you've recently seen A New Hope,
yeah,
and now you've seen Empire, would you say that you like this one? Do you like this one more than that?
Yes.
Yeah, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is arguably the best Star Wars movie.
It's a very good Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
It's probably
That's
my
why I said
favorite.
arguably.
I mean, there's so many different takes on that, right?
Yeah.
There are people who think Episode 3 is the best. There are people, I mean, I'm sure there's some sad person out there that thinks Episode 2 is the best.
Oh no. No, that's just wrong.
See, these jokes, I don't get them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but
that's
you will.
Yeah, I want to get these.
But you
jokes.
will. And I wonder what elements of Empire Strikes Back do you think took it that step beyond? Is it did you like the fact that you feel more familiar with the characters, the things that were happening to the characters, the story, the set
familiarity
pieces?
is a big part of it. But that sounds stupid to say because nobody was familiar with these characters when the movies first came out.
Not in A New Hope. Yeah.
So like when this movie came out, like nobody like knew who they. Because that sounds stupid to say
It's
that.
not. I mean, it's
like,
not stupid to say because you're never gonna be put in that position. You're never gonna be the person in 1980 watching Empire.
But there are a lot of parts where you would look back at me and you're like, ooh, like they're dead. And I'm like, that's R2D2. He doesn't die. Like, so that, I mean, I guess that, like, I'm never going to have like a shocked moment. Like the I am your father. Like I've known that. So I was just like, I'm waiting for it. I was just like, he's going to say it. He's going to say it. But it's like nothing is surprising, which I kind of like because I don't really like surprises.
Nothing is surprising. I mean, the fact that the big moments aren't going to surprise you, obviously.
Yeah. But I liked the whole Lando interaction because I understood what the hell they were talking about because I saw like the backstory.
How
of
you
that.
doing, Chewbacca? Hello, what have we here?
Yeah, I fucking despise the entire Cloud City part.
Whenever Todd and I play Battlefront, and there's the severe misfortune of it taking place on a Bespin map. The whole time,
fuck.
I'm just doing a bad Lando impression the whole time.
It's not even that bad.
It's
That's
not
the
that
funny
bad.
thing.
Yeah.
That's like
I'm the
it's not even
administrator
that
of this
bad.
facility. How you doing, Chewbacca?
Oh shit! It's like every little part. It's like any little quote that you would do. It'd be like fucking like 10 minutes into the fucking Bespin shit, and it's just like you pop out with another quote that you do. I'm like, motherfucker.
Just
And I
pop out with another,
giggling to
you
myself
no
like a
good,
dumbass.
dirty, rotten swindler. You got a lot of guts showing up here after what you pulled. Yeah, no, I live for the Lando shit, man. It's funny too. I was talking to Anastasia as we were watching the movie. The ways in which Solo has elevated this movie for me, like the little things, like when 3PO is talking to the Falcon and trying to figure out what's wrong, and he's like, oh, it has such a confusing dialect and stuff like that, and you're just like, oh, that's because L3 is the Falcon now, right? The little things, like there's weight behind the past that Han has with Lando now, because you've actually seen it for yourself. Did any of that translate for you?
Yeah, a lot of it, yeah. Because there was a whole like, oh, I don't trust this guy. And he's like, well, I don't either, but he's my friend. And
And you kind of get a sense of why.
And like the whole like, my ship,
Yeah,
your ship,
yeah.
like this is my
What
ship.
you did to my ship?
Yeah, like that's so good. Like now that I've seen, it makes more sense to me, I guess. Like I'm glad that I watched it in that order.
You're glad that you saw Solo first.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was debating on which order to show these movies to you, and a lot of people would say that you would want to show the prequels first, like 1, 2, and 3, and then go into this. And that's the order that Todd and I watched them in. But I actually sort of disagree with that because I feel like you're actually going to enjoy... The best part of the prequels is watching them knowing what happens.
Yeah.
Even though they do add context to these movies, I think these movies add context to the prequels that is important.
Yes.
So...
I think we've talked about it before. Is like there's like a weird viewing thing where it's like you watch like a prequel, watch like an original. It's like weird as fuck. You like jump around a little bit.
Yeah. There's a very weird viewing order that's there, and
which was what intimidated me from watching them before because everybody says to watch it in a different way.
Nah, fuck that.
Right.
Yeah, I think watching them in order of release is probably the best way to go. But it is nice to go back to this and have the viewing experience of Solo to elevate this. I mean, the kind of optional content that's there is nice, like the spin-off shows, and like even for me, like even watching the prequels, having all the knowledge of what happens in the Clone Wars series is nice. That totally elevates episode 3 for me. But I wanted to just to highlight a few things from Empire specifically. The things that I think make Empire great are not only just like the character moments, but like it's a ballsy move, man. To end this movie the way that it ends on such a down note. I mean, I know that's been played up a lot, but like the movie really does end on like a total bummer. You know, with Han frozen in carbonite on his way to Jabba. You know, Luke just had the devastating revelation that the villain is his father, and he's abandoned, for all intents and purposes, his Jedi training. I mean, there's a lot of bad shit going on in this movie, and I kind of respect the sort of more serious edge that Empire has. And it's funny because I when I walked out of The Last Jedi for the first time, the very first thought that I had was, I wonder if this is how people felt when they walked out of Empire for the first time. You know what I mean? Like, when you imagine being a moviegoer in 1980, and you walked out of that movie, and that was all you had. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like the movie
fuck,
just...
well, that's depressing.
Yeah.
But it's what kept them hooked. It's why they went and saw the other ones.
I just wonder if there were people, back then that were just kind of like how people are about The Last Jedi now.
Well, no, I think the closest correlation you can get is like the Avengers in Infinity War.
Yeah, I felt that way about Avengers too.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. Yeah, where you're just like, fuck, what now? You know?
Then Marvel fucked up with that and did stupid shit with like Spider-Man: Homecoming's already fucking like that shit's already like or Far From Home or whatever the fuck. It's like we know these fuckers survive, but it's whatever.
It's funny. I wonder if The Last Jedi is going to be elevated in people's opinions once Episode 9 is out.
See, that probably is what's going to happen because it's like a lot of people like to wait until like the book is over with type of shit. Like the whole story is out.
Right.
Because I feel like, because we talked about that with like, even just going off tangent, it's the same thing with like Infinity War is like, are you going to enjoy that movie more when Endgame comes out?
Yeah, probably. That's probably a thing. Like, I wonder if that elevated it for people. And I mean, obviously I was born after this saga was already wrapped up, so I have no way of knowing what my opinion of Empire would have been. Mm-hmm. I'm interested to go into Return of the Jedi. I'm interested to see how that all holds up. How did you think... Because I have to say, and I think another reason why I enjoy rewatching Empire so much is because this one probably has the least of George Lucas's sort of like special edition touches.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't really fuck with that much in Empire. Like, Empire is more or less... There are a few things that are added in, but Empire is more or less untouched from the special edition changes. 'Cause I remember you guys in particular, when we did our Relapse on New Hope, you guys were like, the CGI looks like shit and everything that.
I was commentating on it when we were watching it. And you were like, oh, no, that's literally how it was back then. And you're like, it's claymation, stop motion, or whatever.
Yeah, the claymation, like, tauntaun shots.
Yeah, the tauntaun shots are so, like, bad and good. Good for their time, bad for now. But that's to be expected.
Yeah, that's what they had back then, right?
And I respect it. Claymation is hard work.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. So
there's so much hard work that went into these, especially these early Star Wars movies. Mm-hmm. Like all the prosthetics and all of the real stuff that was used and all the visual trickery that was used to make that movie work. It's impressive, and it's kind of sad how a lot of that is lost today. I mean, a lot of it is Star Wars is kind of the arbiter still for prosthetic, real, kind of practical effects work.
C-3PO's cakes.
The cake. You're just commenting on that little robot butt.
Yeah, he has a cute little robot butt because he's a robot. He's literally made of metal. And it still like kind of jiggles a little bit. He got a little bounce in there. And I was like, oh my God, he has the cutest little butt.
You seem to warm to a lot of the characters more in general.
Yeah, C-3PO, R2-D2, because he's a little shit. R2D2 is the little shit, and I love that because he like goes into like when they go visit Yoda, and like he's just like in the like swamp or whatever, and his little like antennas sticking out, and he's just like rolling around, and Luke was like, "Get out of there! Like, come on!" And I was just like, "He's a little shit."
You liked the way Yoda was being a little shit,
Yeah,
too.
Yoda's a little shit because he's just like, "Oh, well, we'll meet Yoda. Don't worry about it." I was like,
I
"He's a
actually
little
want to
shit."
shout out that scene. I fucking love when he went from being the little shit to
Yeah.
the Jedi fucking master.
Yeah.
Yeah, that quick turn of like, yeah, that's good shit. Where
so
that quick turn where Luke kind of blows up and he's like, I'm wasting my time, and he's just like, I can't train him. He has no patience, and he's talking, of course, to Obi-Wan. And it's funny. It's almost like, and again, this is just me openly thinking about the nature of the Force again. There seems to be a constant dialogue almost in the Force, like Obi-Wan was always there that entire time, and he just sort of pops in and out, more so than even I remember. Like he sort of pops in and out to either like back up Yoda or to talk to Luke or whatever, or Yoda talking to him. And it's strange the way that it works. I hope that Episode 9, and you know, JJ has said that Episode 9 is going to tie together every facet of the Star Wars lore, from the prequels to the original trilogy to the sequel trilogy. He's going to tie it all together, he says.
What would you think of a scene with Kylo speaking to Anakin?
That actually, so I was thinking about this recently. So do you remember in The Force Awakens where Kylo he's kind of worshiping almost the broken Vader helmet?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And what does he say? He says, "Show me again."
Ooh.
He says, "Show me again the nature of the dark side," which implies that he was shown before, right? So I almost feel like he's been talking to Anakin.
It's weird.
I almost feel like he's talked to Anakin before. And what does that imply? I mean, that implies that. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you can take from that.
The implications.
It's interesting. I'm curious to see where all of this stuff goes, especially also considering the things that we know with the recent comics and the way those have sort of talked about Anakin's Force ghost presence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's I do think I sort of have a hard prediction that we are going to see Anakin's Force ghost in Episode 9. Communicating with Kylo, maybe, I don't know, but my question is it going to be Hayden Christensen?
Or is it just going to be like a random old guy?
Yeah. Because that's another special edition change that Lucas added to Return of the Jedi, is the Force ghost that appears at the end is now Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I didn't mind that though, because that's when Anakin was Anakin, you know, like
right. But there's the haters of that are like, well, you know, Anakin died. Honestly, on Mustafar, Anakin died.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, that's more of a Return of the Jedi discussion. This was an Empire Strikes Back discussion. But I think the nice thing about doing Relapse and revisiting these movies is the context that it gives us for further movies, and the way that the knowledge of the past and the new knowledge that we're gaining now, creating a new little fan here, is sort of bringing new knowledge to our fandom and expanding our Star Wars education together. So.
And I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
Let me do that again. I'm having a good time. Because I'm like, I couldn't even understand what I said. But I'm having a good time. And I'm looking forward to our Star Wars convention that we're going to. And I'm looking forward to knowing more of the creatures and stuff. Like, now I'm like, that's 4-LOM, or that's Zuckuss. Like, I know the difference between them now.
Yeah.
And, I'm excited. I'm, like, now I'm more excited for that and for all the other movies, and I hope that we watch them all before.
We definitely will. I can't wait for you to watch the prequels. You get to see the Doug.
Oh, I love the Doug. Okay.
Anyway, Todd, do you want to add anything else before we wrap it up?
No, I'm good.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time when we relapse into Return of the Jedi. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
See ya.
Hey there, thanks for checking out another fantastic Nerd Bourbon video. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, be sure to go ahead and subscribe, leave us a like, drop us a nice comment, or I guess a mean one if that's your prerogative. But until next time, get dunked on.